right, so there we go. We're being recorded. Hi, everyone. I am just going to mute you in case there's any more noise or anyone else joins us. Okay, so we'll come to lie on our mat and we'll just start closing our eyes for a few moments and bringing our awareness inward as we do. And as you get settled and comfortable, get all of your fidgeting out. So the need to just get comfy, feeling like things fall into place. Notice your legs are a significant distance away from each other so that your low back and your pelvis feels as settled as possible. And separating the arms away from the body, same idea. We'll just close our eyes for a moment. And as you exhale, you're welcome to let out some sound. You can let out the sound of the ah. Inhaling slowly and fully. And as we exhale, just allowing ourselves to drift back into the mat. Sensing all of the support that we find when we let go. And as you feel ready, just allowing your mouth to gently close. Notice where your tongue rests when you close your mouth. And without trying to change or control anything, just start to sense how you feel in this moment. How does the space around you feel? What's the temperature of the room like? What sounds do you hear? Noticing the sensation of the clothing against your skin. Noticing the way that the ground feels beneath you. And with every following breath, encourage your inhale to come in just a little bit slower and a little bit fuller. And notice if you can sense how the back of your body expands into the mat as you breathe in. And we'll start to soften around our jaw as we breathe out. Softening around the eyeballs, around your eyebrows and your face. Feeling the weight of the back of your head resting against the mat. Sensing the weight through your shoulders, through your arms. Becoming aware that for the next hour or so, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to figure anything out. There's nothing to see, nowhere to go. And as you exhale, allow yourself to embody this awareness of not having anything to accomplish. The sense of it's already done. Notice what your back feels like. How much of the low back do you feel? either on the mat, away from the mat, or just not clear as to whether or not it's touching. And then noticing the back of your pelvis and feeling the width of your pelvis, the weight of your pelvis. And as you exhale, soften around your abdomen, soften around the groin and the front of your thighs. Just with the sense of gratitude for the legs and the hips and all of the places that we've been, and allowing ourselves to not have to go anywhere right now. Notice how much of your legs you can sense against your floor, and the way that your feet just kind of flop out and rest on the mat. Breathing in gently and slowly, aware that every full breath is a source of nutrients, a source of energy. And every exhalation is a letting go, a cleansing. The body's always releasing what it doesn't need and drawing in what it does. And as we exhale and release, just trusting that even if it's a little uncomfortable, even if things get stirred or start to feel strange, just trusting that our bodies know exactly what to do with it all. And when you feel ready on one of your inhalations, you'll drag your arms up and over your head. And as you exhale, taking them to the mat if they're not there, and stretching out long, stretching to yawn, reach through your fingers and through your toes. And as you inhale, relax, stretch, let your abdomen fill. Notice how your body rises as you breathe in. And as you exhale again, feeling like you're stretching out, getting started, feeling a new, fresh moment on every inhale. Release your stretch to let the breath in. Feel the abdomen rise. Exhaling, stretching out the whole body, creating space between all of the joints to encourage the air out. Inhale, filling up, falling back into the support of your mat as you rise with your breath. Your body rises, you stay on the ground. And then exhaling, stretching out long, reaching to yawn one last time. And then when you're ready, you'll just relax the stretch, interlace your fingers and bring them to the back of your head to create a comfortable pillow for the back of the head. And just notice that quality of the releasing thighs, the feet turned out. And as we inhale, gently roll the toes in towards one another, noticing that your knees roll in and they might bend a little bit. Allow that to happen. And as you exhale, releasing through the thighs and just letting them flop back out. Inhale, slowly rolling the thighs, the toes, and the knees inward. Let the knees bend. And then exhaling, noticing that as you roll the legs back out, the knees will release. And we'll just follow our breath. It's a small movement there of rolling the thighs in. So go slowly so that it takes more time to get through the movement. Also drawing the breath in slowly as you roll the thighs in. And then letting the breath out slowly as you roll the thighs and the toes back out. Relax your jaw, relax your face, literally embodying the fact that you've got nowhere to go, nothing to do. Inhaling, rolling the thighs and toes inward. Exhaling, rolling them outward. And we'll just spend a little more time with this. Tune in to where your legs meet your pelvis, where the pelvis meets the ground, and just sense what you notice. Do you sense any movement there? Do you sense the lack of movement? What awareness do you find? And even the lack of sensation, or kind of like the lack of awareness, is also awareness, right? You just notice that you don't feel much, and that's okay. That's what you find. Every time you exhale, soften your face, your jaw, and the area around your shoulders and your chest. And now the next time that our thighs roll out this way, we're just going to kind of let them fall out there, and we'll do a small, short, kind of a short twitching movement where we just kind of bob the thighs in and out, in and out, in and out. And really it feels like out, 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 just a short, quick, feel the jiggle, allow it to jiggle. Notice if one side has an easier time letting go this way than the other. Do you feel the vibration of the movement traveling up the body at all? Does it create discomfort in any of your joints? And breathe. Shaky, 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 shake it all out. Just one more breath while you're shaking your thighs. Out, 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 out. And pause, just let it release. And now this time as we inhale, we'll flex through our ankles, reaching the heels away from us and the toes upward towards our head. And as we exhale, gently point through the ankles, sliding the heels towards the back of the head. Inhale to flex through your heels. Exhale and point through your ankles. And now just keep this movement going. And again, go slowly, drawing the toes back as the heels reach away from you. And then pointing through your toes as if there were a ribbon or something that you wanted to grab hold of with your toes. Really pointing them down towards the ground, but do it gently. Notice if you can sense that as you point your toes and your ankles, your tailbone gets pulled towards the mat and your chin kind of slides down towards your chest. And as you're flexing through your heels, reaching them away, your tailbone curls relatively towards the sky and your chin moves away from your chest. So it's just one of those things that you kind of notice. There's nothing for you to do other than breathe and slowly flex the ankles and slowly point through the ankles. And just one or two more times. Take your time with it. Go slowly. Does one ankle feel different than the other? In general, does one side of the body feel different than the other? And now this movement as well, we're going to turn into a short, kind of fast movement where we're just kind of point, flex, wobble back and forth, point, 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 point. Notice how it shakes up through the body. Can you feel the back of your head and your hands moving a bit? Keep it going. And breathe. If there's tension through your thighs and a feeling of holding them, see if you can let them flop out to the sides again and keep the movement going at the ankles. Out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. And then we'll rest and just let that go. Taking one more deep inhale. And this time as we exhale, we'll drag our right heel in towards our sitting bone. Stand the foot firmly on the ground. And then drag the other heel in towards the sit bone. Stand that foot firmly on the ground and just kind of do a reset there for your low back, Smooth out the back of the body on the mat, and we'll walk our feet wide apart now, as comfortable as wide as it's comfortable, and just be mindful that you separated your feet an even distance away from the midline. Inhale while you're here, and as you exhale, gently take both knees over to the right side. Gently press the inner edge of the left foot into the mat. Notice how that picks the back of the ribs off. Pull your left elbow in close to your head. Keep your fingers interlaced, and we're going to roll onto our right side. Let the left knee stay back there, so your left foot stays where it was, and you'll send your left elbow forward towards the ground in front of you and inhale while you're there. As you exhale, start rolling your head back into your hands. Gently opening your chest up towards the ceiling. Inhale while you're open. And as you exhale, bring the right thigh in towards the midline first. That'll guide your pelvis and left leg over. Pause in the center with both feet standing on the mat, both feet really wide apart, and inhale. As you exhale, take both legs over to the left side, yet keep your feet right where they are. Gently dig the inner edge of the right foot into the ground. It peels the right side of the body off the mat. Bring the right elbow in, guiding the right elbow towards the ground in front of you. And again, when you arrive, take a breath. Notice that the right thigh just falls heavily towards the ground. When you feel ready, your head will roll back into your hands. Try and keep your legs heavy. They'll move, right? But you want to feel like they're just kind of trying to stay in the same place until your chest is open. Then your left knee, the outer leg, rolls in first, guides you back into the center. Check back in with your center. Are your feet still an even distance away from your center, wide apart? Exhale, take it to the other side. Keep the feet wide apart. Press the inner edge of the foot. Roll the left elbow in, rolling back onto the side. The left elbow traveling forward towards the ground in front of you. And again, inhale. Be mindful that your hands stay interlaced behind your head. Your head, shoulders, and chest rolls open first. Then the outer leg or the outer thigh touching the ground is the leg that rolls in first. Guides your pelvis and leg over. And then we go right over to the other side. So we'll just keep repeating this pattern of movement, allowing it to become a little more fluid, which does not mean faster. It just means that if there were seams where you felt like first you do this, then you do that, those seams start to be erased so that it feels like one continuous cycle of movement. Pause in the center for a breath whenever you need to, especially if you find that your feet have a tendency of wanting to move around. Relax your face. Keep reminding your abdomen that it can release. It doesn't need to hold anything. Keep reminding the back of your head, neck, and shoulders that they're on the ground. Your whole body can stay heavy. When you find that your feet want to move around, it's often that memory of your thighs, your walking muscles, your doing muscles, the doers in your body feel like they've got to get up and go somewhere. Just keep reminding yourself, reminding your whole system, you've already arrived. And it's already done. Doesn't matter what it is. It's just that intention of falling back into the moment, feeling yourself staying heavy as you roll from side to side. And the next time that you find yourself lying on your right side, you're going to stay there. And once you've come onto your right side, you send your left elbow forward towards the mat. Inhale into the space between your shoulder blades. And then gently roll back. Bring your top arm down, the left arm down, and hug the knees into your chest. So you just kind of get cozy on the right side of the body. Hug the knees into the chest so that you feel cradled. And just take a breath there, feeling your belly expand. Notice how it feels around the low back. And again, if you don't feel anything, that's what you feel. It feels like nothing. And now this time, we'll keep our right arm under the head like a comfortable pillow and reach your left arm out in front of you, just a straight left arm, kind of at the height of our bust, reaching right out in front of us. We're going to keep our fingers on the ground as long as it feels good for our shoulder. And on our following inhale, we'll start to trace with our fingertips a line that's going to travel up and over our head, becoming a half circle. Once the arm comes alongside of your head, your palm can flip, and depending on how much sensation you have, you may need to let your arm lift up away from the ground. Keep reaching the left arm behind you, opening you up to look at the ceiling. And again, if it's very intense, if there's any tingling in the arm, bring your arm up higher off of the ground. Don't hang out in places where you feel a tingle or a sharpness. And then when you're ready, take your fingertips back up and over your head. Long arm traveling up and over the head, rolls you back onto your side. Your left arm traveling out in front of you, coming back down, this time lower towards the knees, and inhale there. Exhale, and when you feel ready again, take your left fingertips, trace a line back up and over your head. Go extra slow as it comes alongside of the head. Flip the palm open towards the sky, the back of the head resting into the hand. Relax the right shoulder. Breathe, and if it feels very intense, just kind of say hello, intensity, and then gently bring the arm back up and over. So we practice not reacting to that intensity. We notice it, and then we gently make a choice and we respond to it. As opposed to the whole body having a knee-jerk reaction, you take a breath, and then you either choose, lift the arm up higher off the ground, bring the arm back up and over the head. Go slowly enough, stay tuned into your breath so that you can make those conscious decisions about how far to go and how to get there. We'll just do this a few more times. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed. Breathing as you take the arm up and around, reminding the right side of the body that it's resting on the ground. The right thigh can stay released. The right shoulder can stay released. Soften around the groin and the abdomen. And we'll just do this for a few moments longer. So really take your time with it. If there's any area where you feel like you'd like to stay a little bit longer and take a few more breaths, feel free to do that. Again, just be mindful that you're not in a place where you feel like you're trapped, like you're held because it's so intense. Hang out in a place where you feel like you've still got some wiggle room. It's not as intense as it can possibly be. Keep reminding your body that it's safe to let go, that you're paying attention. that you're listening to its signals. And the next time that you find yourself back on your right side, you'll stay there. If you're still breathing and you're not quite ready to come back, take your time. Once you're ready, bring your left arm back into your chest, or a place where now your shoulder doesn't feel like so much is going on. It can rest. The left hand can rest on the mat or on the side of the body, wherever you feel the best. And on your following inhale, you'll bring your left knee, your top knee, into your chest. And then as we exhale, we'll keep the knee bent and reach the knee back towards the space behind us, traveling, just hovering over the bottom leg. Inhale, the left knee comes up towards the chest. Exhaling, gliding the left knee back. Breathe to bring the knee up. And breathe to send the knee back. Keep reminding the right side of your body that it's safe. It can just rest on the mat. If your breathing pattern changes, that's absolutely fine. What matters the most is that you're keyed into it. If there are any moments where perhaps you're holding the breath or you find there's a pause between breaths, again, just become aware of it and encourage the breath also to become seamless. One breath becomes the other. Keep the left arm in a comfortable resting place. The top hands can even be on the mat. And now the next time that the top knee comes in close to the chest, pause there for a second. Place the inner edge of the top foot down on the ground in front of you. Slide that leg out, straightening towards a straight leg, and then keeping the toes on the floor, the inner edge of the foot, drag the straight leg behind you. Just be mindful of what it feels like in your low back. If it gets pinchy, don't go that far back. Bend the knee, keeping the inner edge of the foot on the ground, and then draw the knee back into the chest. Inhale. Drag the straight foot out along the ground in front of you. Then bring the straight top leg down and back. Bend the knee, bringing the heel towards the pelvis while it's back there, and then drag the knee back in towards your chest. Straightening the leg out in front, keep the circular motion going. And again, notice, how does your breath accompany your movement? Keep the right side or the bottom side of the body resting on the ground. And now the next time that the top leg is reaching out in front of you and it's kind of straight, again, don't force things. If it feels intense, keep the knee bent. Don't worry about it. Just find the place where your leg is almost stretched out in front of you. Interlace your hands behind your head again. And now as we inhale, we're going to let our head roll back into our interlaced hands away from the top leg. Rolling back slowly, take a few breaths while you're there. Release around your abdomen. Allow yourself to fall back into the mat. And now when you feel ready, gently bring the left elbow back in next to your head. Roll back onto your side and then drag your straight top leg down away from your head. As it reaches behind you, reach your left elbow or your top elbow towards the mat in front of you. And again, be mindful of the sensations that you find. If they're intense, don't push that far. While your top elbow's reaching in front of you, bend your left knee, bringing the heel towards your glute. Slide the left knee forward as you start rolling back onto your side, straightening the left knee out in front of you as your chest opens back up towards the sky. and breathe. As you feel ready, your left elbow comes in, your straight top leg is going to travel down, reaching the top elbow forward as the top leg reaches back. Bend the knee once the foot's back there. And now as your top knee comes forward, your upper body rolls back. Let the knee keep traveling towards the chest until the chest opens, and then extend the leg away from your chest again. Notice your breath, notice the sensations between your ribs, tracing the circle with the straight left leg down as you roll back onto your side. Your left elbow goes forward, your left foot goes back, and the knee bends. The bent knee travels forward as you start rolling back into your interlaced hands. The front of your heart center opens towards the sky, while the back of your left knee opens out and away from your pelvis. Keep the pattern going. Encourage your breath to keep slowing down. Every breath becoming longer. And again, we'll just spend a few more moments with this pattern and notice, does it become more seamless? Does it start to become like a dance where the straight leg guides the upper body and the upper body informs the leg? We'll just do one more of these. Take your time with it, keep it going, find your breath, and feel your breath inside. And then when you feel ready, you're going to come back onto your side, stacking the knees back onto each other and resting the top arm again. Just kind of find the moment on your side, take a breath. Exhale and just rest. And when you feel ready, gently press your way up into a comfortable seated position. Come up slowly, we've been down for a while. Have a comfortable seat on your mat and just close your eyes for a second. What differences do you notice between the left and the right sides of the body? And on a following inhale, we'll reach the arms out, up and over the head. Hook your fingers up, hook your thumbs up into each other, stretch up and out of the ribs. If it's comfortable, reach the shoulders behind the head like you want to lift your ribs and shoulders up out of your hips. And then let the arms release back down at your sides. Place the hands behind you. The palms will be behind you. Fingers turned towards the back. Just comfortable there, leaning back into your straight arms. And now stand your feet on the mat out in front of you. Walk your feet again, a comfortable and even distance away from the midline, and inhale. And this time, as you exhale, take both knees over to the right side. Be gentle with your hips. Inhale, come back up through your center. Exhale over to the other side. Be gentle with the hips, right? Especially if you've been sitting a lot. Go slowly. And if you find that you start to slide away from your hands, as I am, bring your hands in closer to your pelvis. Unless, of course, that creates a pinchy sensation or any kind of sensation deep in your groin. If you feel sensation in the groin or the hip socket, then maybe walk your hands a little further back or walk your feet further away from your pelvis. Always listen to those sensations, right? Sometimes we get really good at this mindset of I feel it, but it doesn't hurt. I can handle it, right? And sometimes it's helpful. Right now it's not needed. Right now we want to honor all the sensations that come up and offer ourselves space, right? We can save that ability that we have to push through for when we really need it. And now when you're ready, we're going to take both of our legs over to the left side. And this time we're going to lie down on the left side of the body. And again, come into that position where you feel like you're cradling yourself. Get comfy, get cozy on your side. Use the bottom arm as a pillow. What does it feel like around the low back as you assume this position? Maybe not like much of anything, that's fine. And now when you're ready, reach your top arm back out in front of you, kind of at the height of your bust or even lower, closer to your knees. And now again, keeping the fingertips on the ground as long as it feels safe, we're going to trace the circle back up over the head. Once the arm comes alongside of the head, the palm starts to turn towards the sky. Our head will roll back into our left hand, gently rolling back. If it's very intense, lift the arm further away from the floor. Don't roll back into the intensity, especially not on the first one. And then as you're ready, you breathe there. And then we take that straight top arm, dragging it back up and over the head. Once it comes close to your ear, the palm can flip, kind of happens naturally. You roll back onto your left hand and you bring your right arm down towards your knees. You can even like roll forward towards the mat a little bit and inhale. As you breathe, trace the circle back up and over. So I'll just be quiet for a little bit. Notice what you feel. Stay heavy. Explore the sensations in the chest, through the shoulder, and the arm. Being mindful of not rolling into the areas that feel high intensity. Hanging out and breathing in the spaces where you feel like you'd like to spend a little more time. And then when you feel ready, tracing the circle back and down. Keep reminding the abdomen, the thighs and the groin that it's safe to let go. Just taking a moment longer with this. And as you're ready, bringing that arm back in and onto the side of your body, returning yourself onto your left side. And again, just let the top shoulder rest now, placing it in an area where it's comfortable. the head just comfortably resting on the bottom arm. Position yourself so you feel like, you know, if there was any exhaustion or any stuff came up, you can ease up around it now. And on your next inhale, you'll slide your top knee in closer to your chest. Keep your knee bent. And as you exhale, hover the top leg over the bottom leg, reaching it towards the space behind you, only going as far back as it feels good for the low back and hip. Inhale, bringing the top knee in towards the body. Exhale, gliding it back. Remind your upper body it's resting on the mat. It doesn't need to do much of anything to hold itself there. Inhaling the knee up. Exhaling the knee back. And if the breathing pattern changes, that's fine. As long as it feels fine. Let it happen. Just notice it. Tune in to the side of your body that touches the ground. How does it relate to the floor? Does it rest on the floor? Does it push into the floor? Does it feel supported? Or does it feel like it struggles a little bit? Without judgment, it's not good or bad, just notice it. And the next time that you're drawing your knee in close to your chest, go ahead and keep it there. And you'll bring the inner edge of your top foot down onto the floor in front of you. And then gently start sliding that leg away from you, wanting to open the back of the knee up a little bit as far as it feels safe. And now keeping the inner edge of the foot on the ground, trace the circle now around the bottom half of your body. Sliding the straight leg towards the space behind you, bending the knee back there, bringing the heel in towards the pelvis, and then drawing the knee back in towards your chest. Taking the leg out towards the space in front of you as far as it feels it can go safely. And then as it circles down, you have the ability to straighten it out a little bit further, pressing into the space behind you as far as it feels like your left side, your bottom side can stay heavy on the mat, and it feels welcomed by the lower back and the pelvis. Notice your breath. Where are you inhaling? Where are you exhaling? And now the next time that your leg is reaching into that space behind you and the knee bends, we're going to keep it there. Interlace the hands behind the head once again, and this time take the top elbow towards the mat in front of you and inhale. And as you're exhaling now, your head starts to roll back. We're going to bring the back knee in towards the chest, straighten the leg out, and our upper body rolls back away from the straightening leg, and the leg is straightening away from the heart that's opening towards the sky. And just breathe there for a moment or two. If it's very intense, keep the elbow close to the head, the right elbow, and bend the knee. So whenever things get intense, we just want to pull into the center a little bit more. Otherwise, we can keep reaching through the back of the knee and allowing the elbow to fall open. And it's not about pain, it's about, do you feel like you're getting pulled and you're at the end, there's no wiggle room? Then you want to pull in a little bit and create some wiggle room, and that's where you hang out. You hang out in the space where you still have wiggle room. Feel the movement of your breath internally, how the ribs, the torso, the abdomen moves from the breath. And when you feel ready, You'll start bringing your right elbow in close to your head, rolling yourself back onto your side. Take your straight top leg down now, reach it back the way you had, and take your top elbow forward towards the space in front of you. Keep the top elbow reaching forward as you bend the knee into that space behind you, and then your top knee is going to travel in as your head rolls back, opening your heart towards the sky, reaching your foot away from your heart. Breathe while you're there, and as you breathe, the elbow comes in, the straight leg traces the circle down. The top foot reaches back as the top elbow reaches forward. The knee bends behind you as the top elbow reaches forward, and then once the knee is bent, it travels back in towards your chest and your head travels back towards your interlaced hands. Keep this pattern going. Notice that your breath stays even and steady. If you find any moments where you're holding your breath, just notice it and ask those spaces to become smaller. Think of it as one movement. And we'll just spend a little bit longer with this. And when you feel that you're ready, you'll come back to lying on your side with your knees stacked and the top arm can come down, just coming back to rest on your side. Notice how you feel, where you feel it. And on one of your inhales, inhale slowly, bring yourself up slowly. And again, sit with the legs crossed in an easy position, in a comfortable shape. And just notice how you feel now as you come up. And then once again, we're going to place our feet on the mat out in front of us. Separate them a comfortable but like significant width away from each other. Place the hands behind you, kind of close to your pelvis now. Inhale and sit tall. If you feel pinching in your pelvis and your hip sockets, then your hands are too close to your pelvis. You want to give the front of the hip some space. It's asking you for space. On your following exhale, take both knees over to one side and look up and away from your knees. Guide your eyeballs to look into the corner of the room. Inhale, bring your knees, head, and eyes to center. Exhale, take your knees to the other side. Your head and your eyes move in opposition to your knees. Inhaling, head and eyes to center. Exhaling, head and eyes away from center. Inhale to center. Exhale away. Keep going. Notice how your eyes scan the room. Smooth it out. So you're not really looking at one thing or group of things. You're just kind of painting as if it were like a watery medium, like you're painting this beautiful stroke across the room, across the horizon with your eyes. Smooth it out. We'll just do that one more time to each side. It's absolutely okay if it feels jumpy, if it's not quite smooth. Your intention is still set the same. And now, when you feel ready, you're going to find your center with your head and feet all looking straight on. And we're just going to bring our hands now behind our knees and sit up tall. And just kind of rock a little bit from side to side on your sitting bones here. And then get settled right into the center, right on top of them. We're going to keep our feet heavy on the mat and keep our hands holding on to our legs. Exhaling, gently rolling your sitting bones towards your heels with the feeling of your forehead traveling up and over your toes. And then as you inhale, your head is coming back and you're rolling back up onto your sitting bones. Inhale. Exhale. Allow your sitting bones and your pelvis to roll off of your thighs. Try and keep your legs as relaxed as possible. You don't have anywhere to go. Just explore smoothing out the movement of your pelvis on your thigh bones here. As you roll forward and up now, let your knees separate. You might notice it happens naturally. And now look up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, the pelvis rolls back, the knees come back together again, and you'll look down towards your pubic bone or front of your body. Inhale, use your arms to pull yourself. Separate your knees so it feels like they're opening the gate for your pelvis to flow forward, and you look up. Exhaling, the pelvis rolling back, knees coming in, the eyes gazing down. Keep going. Relax your jaw. Notice where your tongue is resting. Last time. And now the next time that we're rolling back, we're going to pause about halfway back. Bring the hands back behind you now. Elbows are bent. Fingertips this time are pointing towards your toes. Slide your toes in a little bit closer to your pelvis so you feel like you've got good stepping in your feet and in your hands. On your following exhale now, imagine yourself doing the bridge. Curl your tailbone towards your knees, push down into your hands. Start reaching your knees forward, stretching through the heels of your hands and your chest, and then rolling back down. Inhale when you come down, straighten the elbows, lift the chest. Exhale, bend at the elbows a little bit, curl in the low back, send the tailbone through the knees, bridging up, but then sliding forward. Be gentle with your wrists, be gentle with your hands. It can be very intense. Inhale when you have a seat, lift the chest up, straighten through the arms. Exhale, bend the elbows slightly, curl the tailbone up, rounding the low back as you reach through your knees. We'll just do this one or two more times. Inhale, straighten the elbows, lift the chest. Exhale, bend the elbows, roll through the low back, and then roll it forward through your ankles and toes. Last one. And again, sitting up tall, walk your feet back out in front of you, come up onto your pelvis, shake out your hands. Notice the energy. Is there a tingle that comes out through your fingertips? What just changed? And now we'll grab the back of the knees again, rock a little from side to side, get your pelvis settled. And this time we'll exhale, start rolling back again. Keep the feet very heavy and hang off of your weighted thighs. We're gonna roll through the low back, drag the feet along with us, bring them into tabletop. Inhale with your head on the mat. And as you exhale, you'll start to lift your head, move your legs away from you, and think of sending your low spine back into the mat to roll you up to sitting. Inhale as you sit up tall. Exhale as you roll back. Keep it going. Set your intention to roll your sacrum and low spine into the mat on the way up and on the way down. Imagine you're rolling under something. We're rolling back and underneath in both directions. Remove the idea of coming up. Keep thinking of your feet going down, your head moving forward, your low spine moving back. The next time that we're lying on our spine, we'll stay on it. And we'll hug our knees into our chest, gently rocking from side to side. Just notice how it feels around your waist, your low back, and we'll gently turn this into a circle. So both knees to the same side, circling around the tailbone, over to the other side and back around again. Make the circle small enough that you stay on your pelvis, on the bony aspect of the sacrum, so it's not so big that it's pulling you off the center, off of your spine. And then reverse the direction of your circle. Relax your face, relax your jaw. And then go ahead and find the center. Hug the knees into the chest one more time. Now this time we're going to float our legs up into tabletop and place our hands on our knees, but just kind of not literally on your kneecap, more on your thigh, just like where your thigh meets your knee. Elbows can be slightly bent and bring your feet together to meet. Knees are slightly like shoulder width apart. As you exhale now, we're going to create pressure between our thighs and our hands. So we'll exhale, push the thighs into the hands and the hands into the thighs and squeeze the air out. Inhale, relax the pressure. Let the abdomen fill, but your body stays in the same place. Exhale and press. Open the back of your throat. Inhale, release the pressure. Exhale and press. Inhale, release the pressure. Exhale and press. Keep the shoulders wide away from the ears. The neck is long. You can even, if your shoulders have a tendency of wanting to slide up, You can turn your elbows out to the sides and have your fingertips face each other instead. We'll just do it 3 more times. And if your thighs, body gets tired, just take a break, fold, and then float back into it. Do they press in evenly? Does one side press more than the other? Last one, be gentle yet thorough. Get all the air out of the lungs. And then rest. Hug the knees back into your chest. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze. And then place your feet on the mat. Bring the ankles together to meet in line with your tailbone. Travel through the center, the pubic bone, navel center, breastbone, chin, nose, third eye, crown of the head. Are we truly in line with ourselves? Let the arms rest at the sides of the body, a little further away from the side than on the mat, and open your palms towards the sky. Separate your feet about head width apart, the width of your head, so not all that wide. And as you exhale, curl the tailbone towards the sky, rolling the pelvis back as you push down evenly through your feet, rewarding your spine with a bridge. Make it feel like it's a massage, it's a treat. We get to do the bridge. Push down evenly into the inner edges of the feet as well as the outer. Oftentimes though, we roll to the outer side, so be mindful we're hugging into the midline. Keep the tailbone curled up as you start coming down from your collarbones, rolling through the breastbone, back of the ribs, low back and pelvis. Inhale, allow your knees to turn out. Keep your feet where they are. Be gentle with your groin and your thighs. Gentle with the low back. Exhale, bring the thighs back in. Stand the feet to the ground. Push them into the earth as you roll back in your pelvis. Again, massaging the spine. Feel all the areas of the back into the floor. Curl up as high as it feels comfortable and up as high as you can swallow. Be mindful that you can say, ah, when you're at the top of the bridge. Keeping the throat center open. When you're curling down, think of your tailbone reaching through the knees. Once the tailbone and pelvis is down, release the pressure, open the thighs back up. Keep it going. Again, make it your own. Do your feet press down evenly? Do your feet feel when you're at the top of the bridge that they're in a place that really support your body position, that really support your spine? Curl down slowly. Relax your face, your eyebrows, and your jaw. And the next time that you're at the top of your bridge, stay up there. We'll all meet up at the top of the bridge. Keep that feeling of softening through your upper back. In fact, let's bring our hands to prayer and rest our thumbs on our breastbone. And think of the breastbone melting down as you curl the tailbone up. And oftentimes that'll create more work in the glutes and the hamstrings. That's good feedback, right? That's happening. Hold it there and breathe. Relax the face. Keep thinking, my head, my throat, my shoulders are resting. It's my tailbone that's actively curling up and my feet are actively pressing down. And now we'll bring the knees in towards center and then out to the width of the shoulders. Exhale in and inhale out. The breath can be reversed. Just make sure that you're breathing. Tailbone actively curling up. Soften through the neck, soften through the shoulders. Last 3. 2. My counting is weird, so Bear with me, keep going. Release your forehead, we're almost done. And last few, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees in, gently melt through your spine. Stretch your legs all the way out. Inhale the arms over your head. Again, take a long yawning stretch. You're so much taller now. And then give yourself a nice big squeeze. Hug the knees in. Feel the low back. Thank the low back. And gently rock from side to side. And this time, let the rocking happen bigger. Let there be space between the thighs. Rock, rock. Let your head start rocking. Rock all the way to your side. The top knee comes in, rolls you to the other side. And just rock and roll from side to side. And then you can either turn to your side and make your way up to sitting, or come back onto your spine, hands behind the knees, and roll up to sitting. And we'll just sit with our legs crossed. Feel the weight of the pelvis. Notice the length and space around you. Close your eyes. And as you inhale, you'll reach your arms up and over your head. And as we exhale, we'll bring our fingertips down to the crown of our head and give ourselves a little shower with our fingertips sliding down the face, the chest, the abdomen and hips. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale and shower yourself. Inhale it up. Exhaling down. And let the palms rest on your knees and just notice your breath. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Reach up one last time. Spread your fingers, hook your thumbs, look up. Again, pull the shoulders back if it's safe and comfortable. Relax the low back as you lift up through your chest. And then let it all go. Thank you for being here. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks.